is a huge setback for the Telangana government. The Supreme Court has dismissed a plea filed by the Revanth Reddy government, which is challenging the High Court order which had stayed the government's decision to increase the backward classes reservation, reaching the 50% limit. Supreme Court, however, has clarified that the said dismissal won't affect the High Court's proceedings. He should decide case on its own merit. That is the big news which is coming in. Remember, Revanth Reddy, the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi. In fact, Rahul Gandhi has repeatedly spoken about the Telangana model. Okay, Ananya is now joining us from the Supreme Court. Ananya, how big of a setback would you say this is?
Well, absolutely, it's a setback coming in for, in fact, the Telangana government, who wanted to implement, these, ceiling limits and, in fact, the increase in the reservation. However, the topmost the Telangana High Court at first, in fact, stayed that particular decision, a unanimous decision of all parties at the Telangana Assembly. But now, finally, the Supreme Court also turning down requests to vacate that interim stay that has been put by the Telangana High Court. However, very clearly saying that, this is something that the Telangana High Court should decide on its own merits after hearing both the parties, and should not be affected by the order that's been passed at the Supreme Court. Not only that, a long discussion took place in advocate, Sheikh Singh appeared for. In fact, the Telangana government argued that the 50% ceiling limit can actually be breached in exceptional circumstances. However, the Supreme Court did not seem convinced, and various respondents, including senior advocate Gopal Subramaniam, Gopal Shankar Narayan, who was appearing for certain parties, argued that this breach of the ceiling limit is not only fixed in the Indra Sani judgment, but also in various other judgments of the top court itself.
And Ananya, what can be the next legal recourse which could be taken by the Telangana government, if any?
The Telangana government is already fighting this battle before the Telangana High Court. It was just an interim stay by the Telangana High Court that the government had actually challenged before the Supreme Court. But now that also could not be, entertained by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court refused to actually grant any kind of relief to the Telangana government. So now mostly they'll fight it before the Telangana High Court and try to secure a final relief as far as things are concerned.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Ananya, for getting us all those details. We're going to